So with that, let's get started. Our first company today is Blockforms. Blockforms was admitted to the program in March of this year. We started, I think, on March 1st, and then we closed down the office space on March 12th. And they've been virtual and coming in as needed over the past couple of months. They're ready to go, and I'm really excited about this company. We have a dynamic team of Tanya Vucevic and Bennett Heems. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tanya and share your screen, and let's go.
Okay, here we go. Thanks, Len. Alrighty, everyone sees the screen? We're good? Okay, so I want to start by thanking all of you at the Preccelerator. And hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time this afternoon to learn about Blockforms. My name is Tanya Vucevic, and I'm the CEO of Blockforms. Today, I'm joined by my co-founder and our head of sales, Bennett Heems.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time. Blockforms is a workflow management platform for employee benefit brokers designed to simplify everyday tasks. Brokers today help employers select the right healthcare plan for their business. And we know that healthcare costs continue to soar. Over 50% of companies rely on the expertise of a benefits broker to shop their coverage and find better plans every year. But the reality is only 18% of businesses actually go through the change process of insurance. And it's not because there's a lack of competitive plans, it's because the process is so time consuming. There are multiple applications to complete for both the broker and the client, and this workflow can take weeks to complete. Consumers today expect a digital purchasing experience, and healthcare simply is not there yet. Now, the reason this problem exists is that each insurance carrier has their own forms that are filed with each state in order to secure coverage. Completing them takes time. In fact, at a typical insurance brokerage, a team can spend 15 to 20% of their time managing this process. And I know this firsthand because I'm an employee benefits broker. Blockforms is created to simplify the process with what we call one-to-many form completion.
An employer, Company A, engages with an insurance broker to review competing employee benefits quotes and decides to switch carriers. The broker then creates a new block via our web app or Salesforce integration. The broker adds multiple carriers to the block, which generates a single application for the company to fill out online. Once Company A has completed the application, saving tons of back and forth communication, the broker reviews the submission, signs, and submits the multiple applications for approval. Insurance is here to stay, and it continues to see consistent growth throughout the industry, and our SOM is specifically employee benefits brokers for now.
Blockforms sits in a unique space within the overall insurance and technology landscape. We enable brokers and carriers to streamline the customer acquisition process. We sit between the broker and their employer client, not between an employer and their employee. And looking at the overall technology landscape, we found companies that do some similar work, but they serve different segments of the insurance market. An example of that would be Indio, which serves property and casualty brokers with carrier form aggregation. Another example is Rippling, which is a competitive payroll and human resource information system. It includes some functionality of Blockforms, but it's only confined to specific employers, and it is not a brokerage solution. Blockforms is the only enablement platform serving employee benefit brokers with form aggregation, team management, and electronic signature.
Blockforms was incorporated in March of 2019. We launched our pilot this year in June, which has been a success, collecting lots of great, useful feedback, and we're on track for nationwide expansion March of next year. We're currently working with Marsh & McLennan Agency and Ward & Brown for deployment in the California markets. With funds, we'll continue to develop our AI for carrier form aggregation nationwide and marketing sponsorship for broker acquisition. Again, I'm Tanya Vucevic, CEO of Blockforms. I'm a data scientist and have a past life in finance. I currently work as a consultant for Rackspace, and I also have worked for large insurance companies such as Pacific Life and AIG. Ali Akhtar is our CTO. He's on the call today. He is a full stack developer and brilliant designer who's built impressive technology for the likes of World Bank, Cedars-Sinai, and McDonald's. And he also runs his own successful e-commerce business.
And I'm Bennett Heames, head of sales. I've spent my entire career in the employee benefits and insurance business. And I've worked in sales and operations for some of the largest insurance companies. I currently work as a benefits broker for Marsh & McLennan Agency. Now, we've been fortunate to work with some leading technology and insurance advisors to help build our product and our market fit. Matthew Watson is the CEO of Origin and a co-founder of Indio. He's helping with our capital raising efforts as well as our team development. Brian Sullivan is a market vice president for Humana and is providing contacts for brokerage customers throughout the West Coast. And Genevieve Nehu is a client executive with Marsh & McLennan Agency. She's been extremely helpful in launching our pilot with the firm as well as going through the vetting process. And her background is both in service on both the insurance carrier and the brokerage side. Now, how do we make money? We have a monthly charge per client that a broker puts on our system. And it's a unique billing model in that it is in alignment with the revenue model of a typical brokerage. We project that each brokerage we bring on to Blockforms will eventually be worth $2.5 million in revenue to Blockforms. In 2021, we expect to have signed 15 of the leading 50 benefit brokers to our platform. With nationwide expansion into 2022, our numbers are going to significantly increase with adoption by the brokers in all 50 states. We are a high margin business and our expenses are primarily for continued development and expanding our sales team.
Working remotely is here to stay. I know when we talk AI and machine learning, we're quick to think about robots and targeted ads. However, these technologies are also available to us to improve the way a process is already done by eliminating procedure inefficiencies and dependencies on in-person interactions. There's never been a better time to be in the realm of enablement technology. We've identified a pain point with plenty of room for optimization that can be applied to any industry that repeatedly interacts with forms. We're starting with insurance brokerages, making brokers more efficient, allowing them to pursue more sales or reduce their team size while closing deals more quickly. We are seeking a total of $2 million for a seed round, which will predominantly be used to increase the size and reach of our sales team and continued development. Thank you again for taking the time to get to know Blockforms today, and please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions.
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you, Bennett. We have one question here. Please, if you have questions, type them into chat, and we will read those questions out for you. From Murlock Fairwood, can you elaborate on the machine learning used? What's it used for and how? I think Tanya could probably take that question.
Sure. So these different carrier forms ask the same questions in different ways. So DBA, company name, company legal name, company, those are all the same questions. So using a supervised machine learning method, our technology recognizes that these fields are in fact the same and consolidates them into one field. But it gets more complicated than that because some forms ask if you subscribe to certain federal regulations, and some of those you will fill in yes or no, some will be check boxes. So then we have to normalize for the different formatting as well. So check boxes, drop downs, fill-ins, and that's where the machine learning component comes in.
Thank you, Tanya. Do we have any other questions for Blockforms? Yes, I do. So what stops any competitor or potential competitor from doing what Blockforms does?
I'll go ahead and take that one.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Lisa. So what's interesting is other companies that exist in the insurtech space, such as Rippling or Indio, serve different elements of it. And the complexity of the forms, not only do each carriers have their unique forms, but they're different in every single state. And so the complexity of working in the employee benefit standpoint is really what is keeping competitors away from this solution. The other roadblock that exists is the insurance companies aren't working off of one consolidated form, whereas in other types of insurance, such as property and casualty, they have a standardized application, and that just does not exist at the state and federal level for healthcare.
Thank you. One more question, and I think we'll wrap up. But what has been the biggest challenge you faced, and how have you addressed it? Tanya, you want to take that?
Sure, I can answer really honestly for you. One of the greatest challenges was early on. We were originally a co-founding team of 4, and navigating when a team member is not necessarily a perfect fit and ending on amicable terms. And I think everyone on this call can appreciate navigating relationships, especially when it comes to money and business. So we were successful, and we buttoned everything up thanks to the help of Studs Alderton.